Have you ever come across a less than scrutable life hack or internet tip that you weren't really too sure about? Maybe your buddy posted on Facebook that you could change your desktop wallpaper to black and it would save you $5 a month on your power bill. Well, you know what? That's what I'm here for. This is Does That Really Work? On each episode, I'm going to be testing out the most potentially awesome but possibly bogus internet tips and life hacks that I can find. But you can join in too. Post in the comments with your own questions. We keep a heavy eye on that, so don't worry, we'll see it. Now, let's kick things off with a bang. I've chosen my favorite that I'm just not sure will work. The tip we're looking at today is to place a dry, fluffy towel in the dryer with your wet clothes. The claim is that it will take less time to dry the load, as the towel helps to absorb the moisture from the clothes and therefore uses less energy. So there's the claim, and it sounds pretty good on the surface. I mean, won't that towel take most of the moisture out of the other clothes in the dryer? Yeah, most likely. But is it efficient enough to put into practice? Let's find out with a series of tests. I'm going to grab some shirts, give them a nice wash. After that, I'll dry them and test the moisture level with a meter. When that's all done, I'll do it again, but add a towel to the mix. You might be wondering how I'm going to figure out the moisture level of the clothing. Well, I've got myself a moisture meter. Now, this thing is typically made to test drywall. However, I found that it works on clothing as well and gives a pretty accurate reading. The way it works is pretty simple. Basically, a little bit of electricity flows out of this end, goes into the clothing, and then comes back into this end. Based on how conductive that material is, we will know how much moisture is contained within. So first things first, we toss the load in the washer. And I'll keep the same settings throughout the tests. It's important that the clothes also get transferred as soon as the washer is done, so that they have no time to dry in the tub. That would throw off the test results. Okay, so that's done. Into the dryer we go. 10 minutes on medium with a clean lint trap. Fire it up and wait. And now we'll go in for the first moisture test. As you can see, after 10 minutes, it's definitely drying, but still has some water inside, as the percentage shows an average of 20%. So when we do this test again using a towel, will it be the same or lower? Let's lather, rinse, and repeat the process. Only this time, I'm tossing in a large dry towel. 10 minutes on medium, and we fire it off. After 10 minutes, the shirt is removed and tested. The result this time was 9%, showing that the t-shirt did in fact get drier in the same time period. But don't go making conclusions just yet. This is slightly more complicated. How many times have you gone to do laundry and you throw in a huge load, you run it in the dryer, and about 20 minutes later you check it just to see how it's doing, and stuff like your socks or other small, less porous items are completely dry, yet your t-shirts, your jeans, and your towels are still way too wet to even think about using. That's kind of what's going on here. You see, when we throw that towel in, it's taking the moisture away from the t-shirts. However, it's retaining the same level of moisture that was in the dryer in the beginning. So, if we keep that whole load going the entire time, it's still going to take the exact same amount of time or longer to dry every single article of clothing that is in the dryer itself. That right there is why I'm going to have to say that the claim of this life hack is false. Because just tossing it in the dryer isn't enough. You have to keep a watchful eye on the entire process or it won't work. So the whole set it and forget it mentality is not going to play here. But we can modify this a bit and make it work to our advantage. To really get your clothes dry faster using the towel method, you got to put that towel in at the beginning, but remove it probably about 15 to 20 minutes in. It's still going to be really wet and full of moisture, and you can hang dry it next to your dryer, and you know what? You just pulled out a lot of the moisture from there. And your clothes are going to continue to dry without that moisture present. Makes sense, right? But if that towel stays in there the entire time, you're actually going to take surface area away from the inside dryer bin. Think about it like this. If you take a glass of water and pour half of it into a bowl and the other half onto a cookie sheet, which one do you think is going to dry first? Obviously the cookie sheet, because there's more surface area. So by removing the wet towel at this point, we're actually reducing drying time by increasing surface area. It's really that simple. The air is going to circulate better, everything's going to flow, it's going to go smooth. If we keep that towel in there, it's going to bunch it all up and make the drying process even longer. That's all I've got for you today, but if you want to have your own life hacks or internet tip questions answered, please post them below. And make sure you're subscribed for our next episode, and I'll see you then.